So this is round 2, game 1. Alright, this hand's quite sketchy, in the fact that it has no black mana and 3 black spells. But I figure it's still quite strong, because it just needs to draw 1 black mana, and there's, let's see, 8 plus 2 plus 2, so that's 12 black sources. So it's 12 out of 53 cards, so that's like a 1 in 4 that I'll draw it, and a 1 in 16 that I'll draw it in 2 turns, or 1 in 16 that I won't draw it in 2 turns, or 15/16 that I will draw it in 2 turns. So pretty good chance of that happening. I think I did the math right on that. 1 in 4. Yeah, okay. Anyway, doesn't really matter if I didn't. But, yep, so I play out the mountain, and we realize that we're playing White Weenie here. And White Weenie is actually not too bad of a matchup, because red can deal with his knights, and black can deal with everything else, basically. So, and then I luckily draw my second land here. It might have been a little bit, might have been getting a little bit bad if that hadn't drawn that second land there. I take a look at his hand, which contains Razor Golem, Veteran, Armor, Serrated Arrows, and I take out this Core Skyfisher. 1, because it's going to do a lot of damage if I don't take it out, and 2, I don't take out the Serrated Arrows, even though it'll eventually get his Skyfisher back, because by turn 4 I'm not going to be in that bad shape, and the other possibility would have been taking out the Razor Golem, but I opt for the Skyfisher, which is maybe the greedier play, but I think it's probably pretty close to correct. He plays Veteran Armorsmith, and I go ahead and play Rakdos Guildmage with the intention of killing that Veteran's Armorsmith during his next turn. He swings in, or he doesn't swing in because he has no profitable attacks, although he could have swung in with the Shade. That would have been reasonable, because I would not have blocked. So, alright. Here I pass the turn, so I can cast, use Rakdos Guildmage's ability. Discard a card, and target creature gets -2/-2. So you're basically tossing a card for removal. And I go ahead and kill the Benevolent Bodyguard, I think. Oh, no, I killed the Veteran Armorsmith. Alright. I figured I just would have killed the Benevolent Bodyguard, because there was no reason for him to not sack the Benevolent Bodyguard and save the Veteran Armorsmith, but he opts not to. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I go and play out Vithian Stinger, because I can start pinging his guys and killing them. He plays out another Benevolent Bodyguard. Again, he's stuck on 2 land, so that's pretty bad for him. I probably mistakenly play out Nantuko Husk, but I figure it's okay, because even if he draws a land next turn, I can kill Bodyguard plus Amaru Scout. So here he plays Razor Golem. Luckily I played the Nantuko Husk. I was saying before that might have been bad, but the Nantuko Husk is a good blocker because he can trade with most of his dudes. So I play Carrion Feeder, and I gamble a little here that he won't draw a 4th guy for so he can start summoning guys up with his Amaru Scout, and he doesn't. He plays Core Skyfisher. Now he can't really attack in profitably, because Nantuko Husk can just sack like Carrion Feeder or Keldar Marauders or something like that, and that prevents him from attacking improperly. Here I attack in with the Keldar Marauders with the threat of using Vithian Stinger if he blocks with Razor Golem. He doesn't, and I go ahead and ping the Amaru Scout at the end of his turn. I figure I don't need to save up Rakdos Guildmage mana, because 1, there's nothing I can really kill next turn, unless he decides to attack him with Razor Golem, which seems really bad anyway, so that's why I'm not keeping up the Guildmage mana. and I cast the Marauder so I can attack it next turn, although Nantuko Husk would have been fine as well. And here I go ahead and use Carrion Feeder's ability and do a damage to him. So I start pumping up the Carrion Feeder with Keldon Marauder's ability. And I go ahead and use Carrion Feeder's ability permanently to get rid of, what was it? To Razor, and I must have taken out Serrated Arrows because he can, he can start getting 2-for-1s with that. So that's why I took that out. I possibly should have attacked in with Carrion Feeder, but that's okay. Here, not that it matters that much, and it usually won't matter that much for most of your games, but if they cast like Unmake or Journey on one of your creatures and you have a sack outlet out like Nantuko Husk or Carrion Feeder, make sure you use it. One, just because it's, generally is the correct play to do, and two, I have Grim Harvest in this deck, so I can recur them if they're in the graveyard, but I can't if they're exiled. So, yep. He attacks with everything. Probably should have been doing that earlier. And I'm happy to go ahead and trade the Keldon Marauder token basically for Razor Golem, and I ping at the end of his turn. It's usually better to ping at the end of your turn. Here, there's no real reason not to cast the 5th land because, one, it basically powers up Skeletal Scrying, and two, if I get like Firebolt, I want to be able to cast that eventually, and I don't have anything else that I could be casting. Here I'm deciding whether or not to cast Skeletal Scry at the end of my turn, or to cast Nantuko Husk, and I decide to cast the Skeletal Scry with the intention of doing that. So the reason I did that, even though it gets rid of my pinger, is one, it trades with Razor Golem, and two, I take less damage, so Skeletal Scrying becomes a stronger play. And he decides not to pump anything because he has Aven Riftwatcher in hand. And here I Skeletal Scry for 5 or 4 and remove as many spells and as little creatures as I can. And I don't really draw anything that good. I draw a Carrion Feeder, Firebolt, and Nantuko Husk. But I realize I have the win here if he doesn't block. So that's what I do. I go ahead and attack in. It's a little risky because I need 2 blockers up for the 2 shades, but I can't not attack because his flyers are just going to fly over and win. So had to attack there. And even if he has does the correct play and blocks, he is going to be down a flyer, and I still have a blocker left. So I figured that's a pretty solid play there. And since he doesn't attack and doesn't realize that I have the win with Firebolt, he decides not to block. That's why I didn't, cast the Firebolt beforehand. So 4, 6. So he probably figured he'd just be down to 1, but I had Firebolt in hand. So that play worked out quite well for me. All right, on to game 2, match 2.